Hey everyone, welcome back to DevNoob's channel and the JavaScript Basics series. This time about the array object. I'm Jacob and today we are going to explore a powerful array method that can make your life a whole lot easier. Introducing array method every. The method every tests whether all elements in the array pass the test which is implemented by the provided function. It will return a boolean value of true or false depending whether the test was successful or not. Let's check the simple case in the first example. We are creating a function that checks whether a number is odd or even. Then we create an array with only even numbers and we test whether the method every confirms that by returning true. It does. Afterwards, to check if it is also capable of returning false, we add an odd number to our array and we test again. This time, method returns false. We showed the example where the callback function used for testing only required one argument, the element itself. But the callback function can actually receive three arguments. First one being the current element itself, second one is the index of the current element, and the last one is an array the method has been called upon. Let's see how the method deals with more complex use cases, leveraging the second and third argument of the callback function. First use case handles the situation where we compare whether the value of an element is greater than its index. We defined items in a way so the test would pass and we indeed get the true as the result of the every method. The second use case works with all three arguments. We need both index and the reference to the whole array in order to compare whether the current element is always greater than the previous one. Of course, with the exception of the first one. We test whether items in an array are always increasing, and for our array numbers too, it is true. But once we add a smaller number than the last one at the end of the array, this is no longer true and the results of the every method reflect that as well. The next example shows how every method handles sparse arrays. You might be surprised. As I mentioned, it might surprise you, but the every method actually ignores and skips over the items in an array that are empty. And it kind of makes sense. Since we know they are empty, there is really no reason to test them on anything besides not being there. So in the first example, we are actually testing whether all non-empty elements fulfill a given condition, and the same thing in the second example. Last exercise checks the behavior of the array-like object in conjunction with the every method. Usual stuff. Let's see it in action. As with all the other methods, the every method heavily relies on the property length. So if there is any numerical property outside of the range specified by the length property, the method does not even consider it. So it does not matter what value it contains. In our case, we are testing whether all the elements in an array-like object are of type string. But the property with index 3 is of type number. But it does not really matter because the every method ignores this property. So when the test is executed, the result is true. On the other hand, once we modify the empty element at index 1 with a numeric value, the test no longer passes and the result is false. That was everything I have prepared for you today. I think every method is quite cool and useful, but oftentimes overlooked. I will for sure use it more frequently from now on. As usual, thanks for your attention and I will see you in the next video.